All right, let's get started. I'm unmuted, make sure we're recording. All right. Thank you all for attending. This is for the Jeep Rogers YMCA Summer Basketball. We're going to record this meeting for those who cannot attend, but we're going to go over some quick things, answer any questions, and then we'll try to get out of here in about 26-30 minutes. I appreciate y'all coming again. Let's get started with some dates for our coaches to make sure everybody's on the same page. So we have practices starting next week. That's Monday, May 16th. So whatever day you're assigned, when you go in to player space, you should be able to go into your team and see your schedule, which will show you your practice times. So every team is assigned 1 day a week for 1 hour. So I believe most practice days or times are 5:30 or 6:30, which is the occasional 7:30. But that'll go Monday through Friday. So you'll be able to see that schedule on your player space. And that'll tell you what day you're practicing. So you'll keep that practice day and time throughout the remainder of the season. So those practices will start next week. You'll practice for 2 weeks, and then you'll have your first game, which will be on Saturday, May 28th. The 3 to 5 year olds will have their first practice on Saturday, May 21st. We will not practice on Monday, the 30th for Memorial Day, and we'll also not practice on Monday, July 4th, or have games on Saturday, July 2nd. We will then have our last day of games on Saturday, July 9th. Jerseys are ordered and they are set to be here the week before first games. It will be a reversible again. If you were with us in the winter, it will be a reversible jersey for all teams. So it'll be blue and white. And so we'll hand those out to you at your practice before your first game. Looking over player space, which is the biggest addition to what we do. You will be getting, or you should have gotten already, I believe. I can check this basketball. Actually, I think we're still working through basketball. But you'll get an email if you have not already that assigns you as the coach for the team wherever you volunteered. And it will give you, while you can see player space if you're just in the app or online right now, when you are assigned as a coach for the team, it will give you more access. It will give you access to be able to reach out and communicate to your teams. It'll give you access to more message boards. It'll also let you directly from an app email or respond to team requests. So you'll see all that. If you've not gotten that already, you'll get an email from PlayerSpace assigning you as a coach. And so you'll be able to see that a little more clearly. If you do have questions about how to work PlayerSpace as a coach, I'm going to link in the chat real quick. The chat, there we go. I'm going to link in the chat real quick a training that kind of helps coaches see what PlayerSpace does, how they can use it, how the app works, how the website works. So there's a link for that PlayerSpace training. The couple of things I want to go through really fast with reaching out to parents. So with PlayerSpace, this should make your lives easier. It should make parents' lives easier. They can see everything. They'll be able to see all the schedules, when practices are, when games are. I know I've had a lot of people reaching out about not being able to see the game schedule. Again, it's not coming out until the 20th, so there's nothing to see. When we do have a game schedule, it will show up automatically in the app. So you'll go to schedule, and it will automatically show you where you're going to be playing, when you'll be playing, who you'll be playing against, the location of the game. All of our games are at Jeep Rogers. We will not be using the gym at Kelly Mill this year. So every game will be at Jeep Rogers, and it'll show you the time you're playing against, and it'll just auto-populate a calendar for you in your schedule. So you'll be able to see that on the 20th. And possibly before. We're going to try to get them done before the 20th, but that's our deadline to get them done. Our 3 to 5 year olds will go first on Saturdays with the 6 to 7s on the other courts. So those 6 to 7s and 3 to 5s will go until about noon, and then we'll have 8 to 9 year old games on both courts. 10 to 11s will start the full court games at about 2 p.m., followed by the 12, 14 year old games will end at about 7 p.m. every night. So long day of basketball, but we've got, again, a record number of kids in the program this summer, so we're excited for that. For those who have not coached before, one thing that I will be doing when I send out the recording of this meeting, I will also include the rule book so that everybody can look over it. I will very quickly, I want to pull it up and go over it with you, but I will be attaching it, so you will be able to see that. I'll also attach the link to the coaches training. If you don't catch it in the chat, I'll include all of that, and especially for those who are not here on this call, so that you can see that. But I do want to quickly Apologize for not having it pulled up. I do want to quickly just go over the rules. There's not a lot. If you've coached with us before, nothing has changed. So there won't be anything as far as what expectations are. Well, rules are. It'll be the same. But I will quickly go over a couple of things to note. For us, we do play quarters. So all of our games will be 4 quarters, 8-minute quarters for the 6 7s, 9 for 8 9s, and then 9 for the 10 11s, 12 to 14s. But if the clock is constantly running, it won't stop for anything until we get under 1 minute for the 10 to 11s and 12 to 14. So it's just a running clock. We do have equal playing time, and that's something I am going to show you real fast. One thing that we will be enforcing this year at all age levels is equal playing time rosters, and I'm going to show this really fast. Go. All right. So as you see on the screen, these are sheets that we're going to have when you come for your games on Saturday. And this is an equal playing time roster. So one issue we have a lot in basketball is teams that are not playing players an equal amount of time, or 50% or half the game. We have a real problem with that at all age levels. And so we are going to be enforcing this year, what you'll do when you'll come in, you'll write their number down, you'll write their name down, and this is going to tell you where you see a gray square blocked off, that's when they should be in the game. So if a quarter is 8 minutes long, at the 4-minute mark, we'll stop and the next players will come in. And this is just going to keep this so everybody plays an equal amount during the game. So the best player on the team, if you have 9 players show up, it doesn't mean the best player plays the entire game and these 4 rotate half the game. It means it's equal playing time across the board. It's not going to be for the best players to sit more, the worst players to sit more and the best players to play more. It's going to be equal. So we'll have these. This is just an example of what a 9-person roster. If you had 6 people, 5 people, 7 people, 10 people, 11 people, whatever, we have them for all the different numbers. So we'll have these at games, and you'll be required to fill them out. It'll just be like if you're filling out a scorebook, this is what we'll use. So you'll just put in the names and numbers. If you want me to print you or send them, I'll include these in the email to coaches so you have them. And if you want to bring them every week, already filled out, that's totally fine. But we'll have them if you want them. So that'll be the one thing that we enforce more this year. All right. Let's get rid of that. So that's the equal playing time roster. And now let me share the rule book, or let me get to the rule book. So that's participation. You're going to get 2 timeouts per half. The only real kind of special house rules that we want to go over are for the 6 to 7 and 8 to 9-year-olds. The 6 to 7s can't steal the ball off of a dribble. Now they can steal passes, but they can't just go up and take the ball. Again, what we're trying to do is help kids develop and learn. And we know there's going to be really good players in the 6-7 division that if they wanted to, they could just take the ball from everybody and run down and score, and it'd be 30-0 every single game. Our goal is to develop, to have kids play the game. And especially since we cater to kids that have not played before, we want to give them a fair chance to learn the game. So they can't steal the ball unless it's a pass at the 6 to 7s, and they cannot trap. So they have to get past half court, get back past half court. They cannot trap. Same thing for 8 to 9-year-olds. Now 8 to 9-year-olds are allowed to steal, but again, they can't. It's very tight. They can't foul. It has to be clean steal. And again, they cannot press. So they have to get back past half court. 10 to 11s, they're not allowed to press until the last minute of each half. And then 12 to 14s, they can press the entire game. The ball size, just in case, I did put it in the email, but just to make sure everybody knows, the 6 to 7-year-olds will use the 27.5 and play on 8-foot rims. The 8 to 9s will play with a 28.5 on 9-foot rims. And that's the 6 7s and 8 9s are a full half court. So 2 goals, but half a court. And then the 10 to 11s play on a full court with 28.5s. And the 12 to 14s play on a full court with a 29.5. And then the other thing just to touch on from our winter basketball season, for those who may not have been here in the winter, we definitely had more competition, and we had more bad sportsmanship from our coaches and our teams. And so that's something that this year we really want to focus on. Every kid is going to be playing half the game. The best players should not get to play the whole game if you only have 7 or 8 players. Everybody's going to be rotated. We don't care about winning. We just want the kids to have fun. We want to develop. We are not going to be yelling at officials. We are not going to be accusing people of cheating. We are not going to be booing officials. It's not going to happen. That is not the culture that we have here at the Y, and we will be very quick to remove players, teams, coaches if we need to. So that's kind of our, those are going to be our main points of emphasis this year as a YMCA. So like I said, I will send the full rule book out so you can read it. I will send out the Player Space Help link so you can see that. You'll also get the recording of this meeting. But basketball, to be very honest with you here, it's going to be, there's a lot of kids that want to play. And when you get your team, it's going to be about developing the players that have never played and just trying to help them along. Trying to help them have fun as they develop and learn. And then you're going to get kids that are pretty good and have been playing for a while and trying to keep them engaged, but also not focusing on, okay, I'm just going to play the best players all the time so we win. It's about development. It's about, letting kids learn, letting kids try new things. It's a lot of fun to watch a team. We have a 10, 11-year-old team this winter that was very bad. They did not have players that knew what they were doing, and to watch them develop each game, to learn from their mistakes, to not focus on losing, but to focus on getting better. And that's what we're here for as a recreational level for them to learn and for them to get better. So that's kind of our philosophy and what we want to see. And equal playing time being the big thing that's new or really being tracked this year. We do want to try to make it easy on coaches. That's why we can come up with Player Space. It should really eliminate a lot of having to keep track of things. It's going to be very simple for the parents to see everything and to keep up with the season through that app. We'll provide basketballs for practices. We'll provide cones and pennies. So you'll have those. I highly recommend you have players just wear their jerseys to practices once they get them, so you can just reverse them and have them, if you scrimmage, they can just bring those. But that's kind of our coaches meeting in a nutshell. I know it's really fast. But now I really want to open it up. This is the time for, if you have any questions that you want to ask, and anything goes. I do recommend if you type it in the chat, it helps me keep track of it so people aren't talking over each other. But I'll give you a chance now if you want to go in the chat and just type any questions. Doesn't matter what it is, but this is the time to ask them so that I can make sure we're all on the same page going into the season. I know it feels like a short meeting. I think that was 15 minutes, but anything that you want to talk about, I will be sending out a lot of information so you can look over it. One other link I will include when I send out this information is the Junior MBA curriculum. They do a great job with their curriculum. We've been using it for the last couple of years on what they need to learn and setting up a weekly practice schedule. So they do all the work for you, and they set up all these practice curriculums for different age groups and skill levels. And if you are, good question. So if you are already set up, if you have already gotten an email from me, or if you've gotten this email from me with the link to this coaches meeting, then I have you as a coach. I have you that you listed that you want to be a coach, and we put you with a team. So you'll be getting more information just to get you, again, from Player Space. If you haven't already, then you'll get that email that sets you up and gets you going as a coach here. So if you haven't gotten the information yet, we're working through it. We are closing out a season of 2,000 kids in soccer and volleyball, and their last week is this week. So we are simultaneously closing that out while starting a season of 1,000 kids in both basketball and flag football. So we are working through it. It's a little slower than we'd like it to be, but you will get, if you have gotten this email, if you are on this call and you have the link, then we have you down as a coach, and we'll get you that information through Player Space. Any other questions? So you all, obviously, if you're here, you've got my email, so you know how to contact me. You don't have to go through, real quick, I'll answer that question. Yes, even though she set up the Player Space and she's getting the emails, when we assign you as a head coach, it will be your email. And so you will be getting those as the head coach. So it'll be a separate login. So you won't need to worry about that. Also, when you get, if for some reason it's her account that's getting the coach's emails, you are able to go in and change all your information. So if you want it to be, if you want to change your email, you can do it through her. You can just change the email if she's getting them. So that's also on the website. And again, I would definitely look at the help site that I'll be sending the help link, because they work strictly with YMCAs. So they take a lot of the FAQs, a lot of the struggles, and they put that into this help desk. So I would definitely look at that. If you're struggling with the PlayerSpace login, if you haven't gotten a login from PlayerSpace, let me know and I can resend it. Otherwise, it should just be your email, and they will let you know how to set up your password. And then you're going to be right on the app. And then you're just going to take that same email and password, and you can plug it into the app, or you can go to the website. But it should be fairly simple as long as you've gotten the email to set up your account. Yeah, so for initial practices, definitely look at the junior MBA curriculum that we'll send. Again, the great thing about the junior MBA curriculum that I really push is that they did all the work for you. So they set up, based on age and skill group, 4 different curriculums, and it's 12 weeks long. So if you look at week 1, it's going to have more introductory things, what to do, and then week 2 is going to build off of that, and it's just going to go. So it's going to put a progression in place already. So that way, as a new coach, you can come in and say, okay, week 1, what are some things they recommend? And they're really good about not just focusing on drills, but also some how do you get to know each other? Because that'll be the big thing. Your first practice, you're all new. Everybody's coming in. They don't know you. You don't know them. And so when you come into that first practice, a lot of it is just getting to know each other, getting parents help. I will say this for coaches: do not be afraid to enlist parents to help you. Assistant coaches, team parents, somebody keep up with snacks, somebody keep up with equal playing time, somebody to help you when you can't be there. This is not all on you. It is a community thing. We're all here in the community to help the kids play. So those, 9, 10 players on your team, you are a community this season. And so you've got to help each other, and they've got to help you. So don't be afraid to ask parents to help. And a lot of parents, if they know they don't have to have the title coach in their name, that's what freaks them out. And if they don't have to have the title coach in their name and they can just help you, they're often willing to help. And so you just need to ask them. And if you don't get that help you need, and you need help, let us know. In our department, we can help there as needed. But yeah, first practice, just focus on getting to know them and kind of assessing their skill level. Who's the good players? Who's the bad players? Because that helps okay, these kids have not played. They do not know what they're doing. I need to focus. And if that's 8 of your 10 kids, practice needs to be very developmental. If 8 of your 10 have played before, 8 of your 10 have played before and are very good, okay, maybe we can do a little bit more. Let's try to elevate and keep them engaged while still bringing up the players who have not played as much. But you just kind of have to evaluate your team. Snacks, again, get parents involved. So after games, typically teams bring snacks, and I will tell you, you do not have to. It's not something that's required. But a lot of times, you'll get parents that they'll just sign up for a weekly snack. Somebody's going to bring drinks, somebody's going to bring a snack. And a lot of times parents will set that up. The nice thing about PlayerSpace is you can do it through there. And so you can kind of communicate. There is a message board. So instead of needing to figure out group emails and group texts, you can communicate directly through the PlayerSpace app. They can message you, you can message them, and you can set up a snack calendar. But again, I really recommend coaches push that on the parents, or find a team parent to help coordinate that, so that you don't have to do all of the work for that community this year. Any other questions? We got plenty of time. You're in no rush. I'd love to answer any questions. All right, well, seeing no more questions, there's a lot of information that'll be coming at you with this recording, the rule book, the equal playing time, the junior MBA. So there's a lot, but we'll get that all to you. But if there's no other questions, we'll go ahead and end early. I appreciate everybody coming out. I'm going to be answering this question privately, but if you have any other questions, feel free. I'll stick around for a couple more minutes. Feel free to put them in the chat and I'll answer them, but we will end it there. And I appreciate everyone coming out.
Jack.
Yes, ma'am.
I did have, when I saw my practices are scheduled for Fridays at 5:30 to 6:30, which works great except the first Friday. And I didn't realize there was going to be a conflict. I don't think I don't even know what I'm asking at this point.
Let me see what my, hold on one second. Let me see what my practice schedule looks like. Let me pull it up. Let's see what we've got going on here. So I'm not gonna have anything at 5:30. Yeah, it'd be too late. I will bring them at 8:30. So I do have on I do have on Mondays 5:30 or 7:30. I don't know if the team would want to show up, and do a Monday that you could do it on the third. Well, you can't do it on the 30th. I'm sorry. So you could do it on the 23rd, which is, obviously coming up soon. You could do it on the 23rd to just kind of get a makeup in. You could do it on the 16th on 5:30 or 7:30 that Monday. But also if it's the first meeting, you just can't get there. You can also, when you reach out to your team, just let them know that you can't make that first practice and you just need somebody to cover that first practice.
Well, I think my husband signed up to go to the baseball game that night with our church. So I have to be downtown at 7:00.
Sure. So yeah, like I said, I would just see if there's a parent that's willing to cover, just let them know that first practice, a lot of times they understand that. And, if we as the Y need to step in and try to help just get that group through that first practice, we can do that.
I think because the first thing he said is, we'll just be late. It'll be fine. And he was serious about it too. But I might just, whatever. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I feel very guilty saying, whoops, I can't do this first one. Or I'll have to cut it short, or I don't know, whatever. But I guess I just wanted to throw that out there just in case. I'm a little nervous about this whole thing. Because it sounded like at the time that I signed up for it, and I was like, wait, no, maybe not.
It is very much with coaches, we really try to work. We don't ever expect a coach that there's not going to be a time they can't, we understand that there's going to be times that coaches can't attend practice. I mean, every single season, I don't think I've ever had a season where a coach didn't have to miss one practice. Stuff comes up, life comes up. So it's very common for there to be at least one practice a season that coach has to say, hey, I can't make it. Is there somebody that can help out? So that's not abnormal in any way. It's pretty common. So, I don't think that's that big of a deal. I would just approach it with the team and see. And we're, we as directors are here. We're happy to help. So if there's something we can do on that first practice, we're fine. But, you've got my contact info. You'll be able to contact the team once we get y'all set up, and we're more than happy to help.
Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go see if I can't remember all the rules of how it all works. But it's half court.
Yeah, more than happy to just let us know.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
You have a good night.
You too. Bye.